So welcome everyone to our last supine yoga therapy class of fall 2024. As usual, we have gone through a journey from working with our legs and feet to our hips, to our lower back, to our upper back, neck and shoulders. And now we're at the mind emotion part, and physically we do a review of everything. I've had a special request for hips tonight, which works well with mind and emotions. And I'm going to let someone in who's joining, and let's get started. So let's just gradually roll down. It's finding your place. It's just gradually rolling down. And just first of all, just assessing how your back feels as you lie here. How's your lower back feel? Your upper back? And I usually kind of assess also, is there any twisting? Like, can I feel sort of my spine going this way? Which in my case happens because of my scoliosis, it goes this way. I know that affects a couple of you. Or is it going this way? Can you feel that? And then we'll check in at the end of the class and see if things have changed at all. So just starting, inhale, bringing your arms up overhead to your place. Reminder, you can have a bolster behind you. You can bend your elbows. You can bring your arms at the sides if you prefer. And then exhale, bringing your arms down by the sides. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, coming to your starting position. Drawing your belly in during the exhale. Inhale, can you inhale into your chest and then into your belly? Can you tuck your chin in at the top of the inhale, Jalandhara Bandha? And as you exhale, can you exhale from the pelvic floor to the belly button, and then the chest falls. Inhaling, it's like unzipping a jacket from the top to the bottom, chest to belly. The back arches, feel that arch. And then exhale from the pelvic floor up to the chest, like zipping a jacket up. Just keep this going. It's called Tadaka Mudra. This might be your daily practice, just doing this. You could do this standing or lying down or even seated. This arm movement. You can stretch your legs out. I like to put my feet at the wall. You can point and flex your feet as you do this. You want to work with your feet. You can do one arm at a time as well. Just doing this actually works on strengthening our lower backs as we exhale and opening our backs, stretching the front body as we inhale, strengthens the back body as we exhale, and stretches the front body as we inhale. So maybe notice that. Back arches on the inhale. And the back flexes, becomes neutral on the exhale. Our next inhale, let's stay here if it's comfortable. You can leave your arms like this. You can bring your palms together. You can interlock your fingers, turn them up, or find another position that works for you. Arms any height that feels good. Focusing on long exhale, this is called Tadaka Mudra, creating that mudra or lock in the belly, from the pelvic floor to the belly button, lower back on the floor. Hold after exhale. You can do this with bent knees if you prefer. Release that lock, inhale into the chest, into the belly, and lock the chin in. Exhale, release that chin lock, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. Inhale from the chest to the belly. And exhale from the belly to the chest. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 429, it says, inhale, prana meets apana, the chest meets the belly. And exhale, apana meets prana, the belly meets the chest. And when you're ready, on your next exhale, release the arms. And just notice how you feel. Just take a moment. So grabbing a bolster or a bed pillow, putting it between your thighs. As you exhale, press into that cushion, that bolster. You might feel how that really works the adductors, the inner thigh muscles, but it also secondarily engages the pelvic floor. So if you have any pelvic floor looseness, lack of strength, can be strengthening for the pelvic floor. It's also very grounding for the mind emotions. So when we're feeling ungrounded because of emotional upset, it's going to be just very soothing, very grounding. Now try to combine that with a long exhale as you squeeze. Notice how the tail tucks under very naturally as you do this. Slight lift of the glutes as you do this, just with no effort. Just that squeeze. And then inhale, notice how the back arches just a little bit or becomes neutral. Now, perhaps add a hold after exhale, squeezing, hold a couple of seconds. And then inhale, release. You can inhale, belly expands, exhale, belly contracts, or inhale, chest to belly, exhale, belly to chest. That's the full breathing technique of Sri T. Krishnamacharya, the yogi of our tradition. And this could be a practice all by itself. You have a long day, feel a bit ungrounded, and you just do this and know that it's strengthening your pelvic floor, your inner thighs, but it's grounding your nervous system. We're going to add on to this. So after your next exhale, actually, let's do this differently. So inhale, just relax your legs. We'll start from the beginning. Just relax those legs. Exhale, press into the bolster and lift just your lower back off the floor, just the lowest part of your back. So tuck the tail under, scoop your tailbone under. Now inhale, release the bolster a little bit and try to lift up a little higher. And as you exhale, squeeze that bolster again and roll down. Inhale, release the bolster with your legs. Exhale, squeeze it, tuck the tail under and lift up a little bit. Inhale, release that bolster, lift higher, press into the feet. Press as much as you can into those feet. Exhale, squeeze the bolster and roll down. Inhale, release the bolster. Exhale, squeeze it and tuck the tail under and lift a little bit. Inhale, lift higher, breathe into the chest, into the belly. Lift as high as you can, the knees are going away now. Exhale, squeeze that bolster and come down. This is also very strengthening for the lower back and the glutes. It's also very grounding for the nervous system, this particular pose. Inhale, release the bolster. Exhale, squeeze it and lift just the tailbone off the lower back. Inhale, lift higher, lift up, release those knees. Now we're going to stay here. I'm going to tuck my shoulders underneath. Exhale, squeeze that bolster. Maybe change the arms so that you're in more of a cactus position, or you could dig your elbows in and feel like you're holding something between your hands and press those elbows down as you lift higher. Exhale, squeeze the bolster. Inhale, lift higher. Go into that cactus position. Exhale, maybe bring the hands to the belly as you squeeze. Inhale, lift higher. Maybe open the arms in that cactus position. Feel those feet pressing away from the floor. Exhale, squeeze. Feel if you can feel one leg or glute working more than the other. Just notice that. Is there one side weaker than the other? Just notice. Can you feel one side firing more than the other? Just notice. And when you're ready, gradually rolling down. Take that bolster and put it underneath the pelvis. This is one of my favorite ways, in an embodied way of just relaxing the mind, is inverting. Putting the pelvis on that bolster, bringing the legs up. And this is great for supporting lymphatic drainage. So at the end of the day, I know I look at my legs and they're a little more swollen just from having sat and stood all day. And you invert, and so you're supporting that. You're also supporting the blood flow return from the legs, the venous blood flow return. You're really helping with that lymphatic drainage. And possibly you're helping doing a little bit of mental flossing with some gamma wave cleaning of the brain. Brain has its own special lymphatic system. Possibly supporting an exchange of lymph and blood in the brain, perhaps. That's what the yogis think. You need science to support that. And just breathing here. Now, if you like, we're going to move the legs. You could just stay here. This is called Viparita Karani. It's a safe version that we can do as we age because it doesn't compress the back. If you want to add on, you can inhale, bring one leg down a little bit or a lot. It can be straight or it can be bent. That's easier. And then as you exhale, bring the leg back up and try to use your core strength to move that leg back up and maybe flex your toes towards your nose. Then inhale, pointing the toes, bring the other leg down. This is stretching the front of the hips, the psoas. And then strengthening the pelvic floor. As you bring the leg up, use the pelvic floor to move the leg. At the end of the exhale, if you like, bring the leg slightly back to stretch those hamstrings and the lower back as a counter.
to our bridge pose. Inhale, left leg going down. It can be straight or bent. Exhale, start to exhale, then start to move. Flex those toes towards the nose. The end of the exhale, maybe coming back towards a bit of a halasana. That's an add-on. And feel a stretch perhaps in your lower back. Inhale, right. And exhale. Feel like the exhale is moving your leg up and both legs back. Other side, inhale left. Exhale. Coming up and back and right. Exhale, up and back. And then maybe staying in the Viparita Karani here. And stay like this, or with your hips and ankles aligned, or you can exhale, bend one knee at a time, Achunkanasana. Inhale, extend, exhale, other side. So this is like doing Apanasana, knees to chest, but inverted. Very good for constipation of mind or body. And then if you like that, you can try both knees. Full Apanasana, and that stretches the lower back as well. So I'm going to do the 2 legs at a time, but feel free to do 1 leg at a time. Akunchanasana, it's a variation of the legs that you can do in shoulder stand. We're doing it in Viparita Karani, supported by a bolster. And I really love full shoulder stand, but I found as I age, it occasionally leads to problems like back spasms, etc., because it can compress the back. So I've figured out that this version doesn't compress the back because of the angle. It's supported by the bolster. So hope that is your experience. And in my yoga therapy training years ago, I was taught after age 50, often inversions were out because of aging. And I think this is one of the reasons. Also, glaucoma and eye problems can be caused by inversions. So you want to be careful. They're very relaxing for the mind, and just staying there in that full inversion if you can. Focus on long exhale and maybe hold after exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2. Keep this going. You could increase it to, for example, 6, 6, 3, or 8, 8, 4, or 10, 10, 5. This is a ratio 2, 0, 2, 1 in classical pranayama. Inhale 2 seconds, times it by whatever, no hold. Exhale 2 seconds, times it by whatever, and hold whatever your ratio is by 1. So for example, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 3 is 3. So that's a 2 to 1 ratio. When you're ready, coming out of that, these are ratios for pranayama that we can bring into our practice. And just staying here in supported bridge, if this is comfortable for your back. Some of you might be able to stretch one leg out or the other, as my preferred method of doing this. Stretches the front of the hips. And if you like, I'm going to stretch my left leg out and inhale, bring the left arm up. And then exhale, bring it down. Flex the toes between the nose. Inhale, extend. You can do this with the leg bent if it's too much. And exhale. Just keep that going. That's stretching that left side. You can do this with a hard block under the hips if you prefer. Horizontally. Doing around 6 rounds. Inhale up, exhale down. When you're ready, switch sides. Notice any discrepancies between legs. This is great for imbalances of the hips. Just helps get some length on one side that might be compressed. And for the last round, you can have your legs bent and inhale both arms up, exhale down, or stretch both legs. You could have your feet at the wall, pressing your feet into the wall, or inhale, point the toes, arms up, exhale, flex the toes towards your nose, and arms come down. And if this is too much, just do one leg at a time, 3 times per leg. I'm going to do 6 rounds. Big stretch of the front body. When you feel like you've had enough, bending one leg at a time in, bringing your knees to your chest, hugging your knees into your chest, Apanasana, with this slight lift of the hips. And if that feels comfortable, maybe you hold your feet or just bring your feet back in a supported Halasana plow. Just compressing the gut. This changes the blood flow and probably sends a message to the nervous system to slow down. I can send you an article I wrote about the relaxation response, I guess about 7 years ago. And just from a physiology point of view, one of my students who is a cardiophysiologist at UBC, that was her thought on this pose. Just embodied ways for us to get out of our heads and into our bodies. This also, I like this because it really stretches the lower back very nicely. And when you've had enough of that, coming out, and hopefully you feel like you have a new spine after all of that.
and probably some renewed energy because you've just really moved the blood and the lymph a lot. So just coming out of that, just take a rest. My Iyengar yoga teacher used to say that inversions were like deep diving, and you should give your whole system a rest afterwards, just to come back to homeostasis. You do this with bent legs or straight. You could have your legs up on a cushion, stool, ottoman, couch, astronaut position. Just rest. All right. We're going to move into some twists now. So we've really worked the legs and the hips a little bit. We're going to move into the hips, lower back a bit more as we move up the spine. All right, halfway in the class, which is perfect. So bending the legs and just making sure there's room. You might need to move your mat a little bit away from the wall like I do. So a bit more space. And for you to have a bit more cushioning, if you've got a nice rug or something, I'm going to do that. It's sometimes nice to have a bit more cushion. All right. So arms up the sides. Inhale here, exhale. Bring one knee down towards the opposite toe. And inhale, coming up. It's just stretching one hip at a time and one thigh at a time. Feel like the knees reaching towards the big toe as you exhale. And inhale, center. This can help the knees. Sometimes this area can get very tight. Just keeping it going side to side. And if you like now, adding both knees side to side. Just moving into a twist series now. And twists in classical yoga, they encourage samana vayu. Sama means equal balance or balance. Sorry, balance. Equal balance is samastiti. And we're balancing the Agni or the fire at the belly. We're balancing that side to side, so it's creating balance in the digestive system and maybe encouraging balance in the enteric nervous system, which is, we now know, the nervous system of the gut, which is so powerful. If the rest of you is not alive, that part can actually keep living. Even when other parts of the body are injured. It's quite a powerful nervous system that can run of its own accord.
And it's said that 80% of the messages of the nervous system from the body travel from the gut upwards to the brain through this enteric nervous system. Millions of neurotransmitters in this area. So often when we're emotionally upset, it will go to our gut and it can lead to various conditions of the digestive system. So these poses are said to encourage balance to the digestive system. In Ayurveda, the digestive system is the hub of the physical wellness of our beings. And yoga therapy comes from Ayurveda and yoga. Just taking this up a notch. We haven't done this term yet. We're just going to bring our knees up. Now you could have a block between your knees or bring your knees together. You could have a block. You could tie your thighs together with a belt if you want a lot of security there. Your palms can be up or down. Down creates a bit more security as you move. So we're going to move only on exhale. We're going to exhale, come to one side. Now, when you come down, if you can't come down without your right shoulder coming off, so I'm bringing my knees to the left, you could have a block or a bolster that you bring your legs to. You could also put a blanket under that shoulder, that right shoulder. So that's your exhale. Inhale, stay in the position, and then exhale, come back through the center all the way to the other side. And again, you might need a block or a bolster as a landing pad, and you might find one side's tighter than the other. So this side, for example, I really feel my left shoulder working. That shows me I have a bit more tightness on this side. Inhale here and then exhale, going all the way back to the right. So just keep that going, taking a breath on each side. Inhale here. Start to exhale and then start to move. It's also a bit of a core workout if you do it very slowly and mindfully. Taking a breath on each side and moving on the exhale. This is encouraging elimination of ama or toxins in the gut, and also encouraging balance of the digestive system and the mind emotions. It's also a nice stretch for the hips and lower back. And strengthening for the core. Start to exhale before you start to move, and then finish the exhale. When you find your way back to the left, just stay here. If it's comfortable, stay here. Consider extending one leg. So the top leg, for example, you could hold that foot, you could hold the calf, you could put a belt on that foot. Then just stay there and feel that stretch down the IT band area, possibly into the lower back. If you want to take it further, you could extend the lower leg straight and go into Japara Paravriti, as a classical pose. You could turn your head with care towards the right, back of the head to the left, and then turning right. Some of us might need a pillow there. I just keep my head centered because it doesn't like that position, but feel free to do that if your body allows. Keep dropping that top hip. Another modification you might prefer, this will go more into the lower back, is bending that top knee. Again, you can have a bolster under that leg. I'm just going to demo that with a block for a minute. You can have a block or a bolster under that knee to just help you keep the opposite shoulder down. And if that's all working out, add a hold after exhale. Very relaxing for the mind emotions. Hold after exhale, 2 to 4 to even 6 seconds, half the length of your exhale. Inhale 4, exhale 4, hold 2, inhale 6, exhale 6, hold 3, inhale 8, exhale 8, hold 4, 10, 10, 5, 12, 12, 6, etc. This is the 2, 0, 2, 1 ratio I mentioned. And the 1, I don't think I said it very clearly the first time. The 1 is that hold number. So your 1 is 3, you times it by 2, you get 6, for example, for inhale, exhale. So picking your medicine, some people also, this is a add-on, you can hold the back foot and stretch that thigh. Sometimes I like that add-on myself. I often like to hold my big toes because I tend towards bunions, as I know a lot of us do, and just helps with that. When you're ready, going to the other side. So we're just going to set up, come to the center, and you can do this for both sides at home. In the center, bring your hips over to the left, bring your knees to the right. Find your position, your beginning position that we went side to side on. Variations of Jatra Paraviti, the twisting of the Jatra Agni, the fire of the belly. These are ancient ideas from the Vedas of India. And if it's comfortable, stretching your top leg. You can hold your calf, your ankle, your toes. This side's definitely tighter for me, so just trying to deal with the reality of that. You could put a belt on your left foot, ankle, hold that. And some of you might want to stay with this. This is really working the leg a lot, that top leg. Some of you might want to go deeper into the lower back, bend that top knee, and maybe straighten the bottom leg in the classical version. The classical version, you're holding the foot like this. Modification, bend the knee, and add a block if it feels better on your body. Even though I don't need the block, I do find I get a better stretch with better alignment with that block. So play with that. And again, you can hold that back, that underfoot. So that right foot, it's hard to know what foot is what when you're all twisted up here. But that bottom foot, you can hold that and stretch that right thigh if you like, and shoulder. And add your hold after exhale, your ratio of 2, 0, 2, 1. Inhale 4, exhale 4, hold 2, 6, 6, 3, 8, 8, 4, 10, 10, 5, 12, 12, 6. During the hold after exhale, pull everything in or up. Don't do this if you have acid reflux. If you're constipated, it should be very good. If you have diarrhea, also don't do it. No long exhales if you have diarrhea. Ooh, a little cramp there. And when you feel ready coming out of that, going back to your center. And hopefully you feel like your hips and lower back got a bit of a workout. Let's just even the score by doing a counter. So starting with our left foot and happy baby, that right leg can be bent or straighten it. Also stretches the groin of that left side and the left side of your lower back. If you like, you can, with a belt or with your hand, inhale, straighten that left leg, exhale, bend it. You can do this by holding a belt on your metatarsal arch if you prefer. And again, you can always bend that right leg. You can also hold the little toe side if you can. And yeah, you can do a little work on those. If you have bunions, you do a little work by holding that big toe. When you're ready, let's stretch the right side of the lower back, holding that right foot. Sorry, I forgot to mention, if you can't hold the right foot, hopefully you knew that, you can hold the thigh instead. So exhale there and just hold there. Inhale, extend, just holding the back of the thigh. So that's another option. Or you can use a belt on the foot or your hand, little toe side or big toe side. You're holding the big toe, just try not to let the foot sickle or pronate. Maybe staying in the position. If you feel ready, bringing both feet into that happy baby position. Again, you can hold under the thighs, which sometimes I find gives a better stretch for the lower back, or the little toe side or the big toes. And then as you inhale, extend the legs, maybe wherever you are with your hands. You could use two belts as well. Exhale, bend. And maybe just staying in that happy baby pose. I like to fan the little toe side of my foot towards my ears. Feel that in my lower back. And again, we finished our next set of little practices. Just relax. Those are again really great for twisting things out of the system physically and emotionally. Just give everything a big twist, and things we're holding on to physically and emotionally, sometimes it just helps us let go. Ideally, we are doing yoga on a fairly empty stomach because of all these kinds of movements. So if you do need to eat, just eat very lightly, like fruit or yogurt or smoothie, nuts, something very light. Ideally, nothing except water for class. Just feel maybe some energy flowing down the pelvis, down the backs of the legs, into the feet, perhaps, that Apana Vayu. Whatever you're feeling, just notice that. our last series, we're just going to go into the upper body. We did this a few weeks ago. I'm going to use my 2 blocks. You can use a rolled mat. You can use your bolster. You can use a rolled blanket. So I'm putting the blocks like this. Your mat would be like this, your rolled mat or your bolster. And then you line up the bottom of your rib cage with that bottom block. Right in your mid back, you'll know if it's the right place. They now make special blocks that don't have these hard edges. And then line here. Or you can move that top block so that it's like this, horizontal, or you can even do it vertical to make it higher. Like that. And maybe you relax your legs. You could fold your legs, cross them. Get comfortable. If you're not comfortable, change what you're doing. We're not here to increase suffering. So if you're not comfortable, you're getting the message, I am not safe, I'm going to pay for this later. Please adjust your pose. So I'm getting that message about my cross legs, so there they go. When you're ready, inhale, bringing your arms to the sides where you can, maybe all the way overhead. I'm going to bring my feet together as well and point them. And then exhale, bending your elbows, bringing them down and getting between those shoulder blades. It's be really good if you're tight in your upper back, can be very helpful. Inhale, bringing your arms to where you can overhead, so it might not go all the way up. And exhale, cactus arm them down, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Just keep this going your own timing. As you inhale, you can fan your fingers apart. And as you exhale, bending those elbows. And then maybe staying in a position that feels good for you. If you're not comfortable, just come out of the pose and lie on your back. And work on your breathing, focusing on inhale. Inhale into the chest and the belly, perhaps holding after inhale. So this would be inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 4, no hold. Or 6, hold 3, exhale 6, or 8, hold 4, exhale 8, etc. Just move those blocks till they're comfortable. Or rolled mat, rolled blanket, bolster, or nothing. This is to increase prana in the system. After cleansing the system, do a lot of cleaning of the gut. Bringing in, after working on that apana, letting go, we're filling in with new energy, prana, vayu. Prana comes from all the elements, the earth, water, fire, air, and there's an extra one in yoga called ether. It's the space between everything, space between the molecules. Leading towards beyond Prakriti or earth, to that prana that is nameless and formless deep within our hearts, said to be the deepest source we have. If you tap into that, you start to glow like the sun through all the orifices of the body, is what the Gita says to us. The 9 orifices glow like the sun with jnana diptihi, that light of knowledge, wisdom. This is probably the pose I did the most during my post-concussion recovery, with a very supported head. Just trying to build my energy again, my prana, after losing it so abruptly. It was a great yogic lesson, the power of yoga to rehab the body and the mind. I did it with a bolster and a very supportive pillow, neck support due to neck injuries. So all those things are possible. So it's a supine pranayama focused on the inhale, giving us energy. And when you feel ready, transition. Come out of this, if you like, holding the back of your head and gradually coming up or rolling to the side if that's not accessible. Just lying on your back. Relax the back. Shavasana, the legs can just go to the sides, or you can make them parallel. I put them at the baseboard of my wall and just keep my hips parallel for grounding and evenness of the pelvis, but classically you just release the legs at the side. Pick your medicine. Just feel the natural rise and fall of the belly. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, om. Exhale, namo. I surrender, I allow. As Byron Katie says in her book, Loving What Is, and her many books, she says, don't fight reality because you lose every time. And well, yoga says, think about what you're going to do it, do your best, and then let go. So there is effort. There is wisdom deciding the direction of your efforts, but ultimately there are so many causes and conditions that are not within our control. And I think that's what Byron Katie's talking about. The parts we can't control, can we just let them be? Just let them be. Let the dog bark. Let the cat meow. Let the seasons come and go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, Om. Exhale, Namo. You can continue to lie here with this meditation or come up in your own time to a seated position to close. And sit cross-legged. I've chosen Vajrasana, diamond pose. Sit on a chair. You can just continue to lie with a neutral spine. Asato ma Sadgamaya. May I be led from what is untrue, asat, to what is sat, true. Om Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. May I be led from tamas, darkness, to jyoti, light. Om Mrityoma Amritangamaya. May I be led from limitation to freedom. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Namaste. Namaskaram. Thank you very much.